Hi everybody, it is Tuesday, the 9th of May, 2023. Let's get the legalities out of the way. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. The full disclaimer is down in the box, so hey, click the red boots in the corner if you want to subscribe, and go ahead and leave a comment, whatever. I'm pretty tough. I can put up with a lot of nonsense. So, yeah, and because I do have to be careful about my vocabulary, and so I do pause quite a bit. So go ahead and use your settings button. It's like, looks like the little gear. Go ahead and move it to whatever speed you are comfortable listening to my video with. Okay, I started taking these notes after I filmed my video. Right now it's like 7:10 Central Standard Time, so these are notes that I started taking after I filmed my video on the 7th. So here goes. Yeah, my favorite Swede, I listen to him. He's one of the first ones that I listen to every morning. He brought up the fact, and it's something I've noticed also, that many people, after they have taken the preventative liquid, they're now coming down with all sorts of things that aren't in their family's medical history. So, yeah, like I've been saying, that stuff is like the new thalidomide. So, let's keep on going. Something that I've noticed is I saw a video with Warren Buffett, and now people are kind of saying that Warren and Elon have joined forces in warning people about the dangers of AI. I mean, it's a man-made problem, but now it's getting out of control and people need to be made aware of it. And Warren and Elon, the two of them together, that is a somewhat of a comforting thought. And the two of them joining forces, along with some of the others who think along the same pathway, I am feeling more and more of them are going to be joining forces to retaliate or prevent the bad boys from gaining control of everybody. Another thing that I caught, and I'm getting very, very strong feelings of, that it will come to fruition, is that Penny Mordaunt, you may not recognize the name, but if I say she was the lady in the teal, green, blue dress who held the sword through the duration of the coronation, that's Penny. Penny is the chairman of the Privy Council, and there's now rumblings that she may be the next Prime Minister. So maybe Rishi Sunak should start looking for boxes, because he might have to move out of 10 Downing Street in the near future. Rishi Sunak, he has such a pronounced lisp that any speech by him, he needs to find his own linologue. So, those of you who know history know who I'm talking about. So, Rishi, go find your own Lionel. Okay? Now, the past 2 days, many people don't realize it's VE Day. And that means Victory in Europe Day. That's the end of the fighting of World War II in Europe. And so many people celebrate it. And because the time zones, and it was signed very, very late at night, and the time zones, Russia was notified that the surrender had been signed, and it was actually May 9th in Russia, where it was still May 8th in the rest of Europe. So you've got celebrations going on for 2 days. Unfortunately, we still had to wait till August for victory in the Pacific Theater. So there have been celebrations all over Europe and Russia. Now, something that has been quietly in the news, and all pertains to the Big Red Sea. Now, I'm surprised Amnesty International likes to jump in and for whatever is going to promote them and make them look good. But they haven't made any noise about Shang Li. She is an Aussie journalist who has been held for over 1,000 days in a Peking private government secure residence. So where is Amnesty International right now? So, the Big Red Sea has been doing a lot of stuff. Like right now, they've expelled and demanded the closing of the Canadian embassy. What's going on with that? And let's see. So, yeah, the Big Red Sea has been pulling some stuff. So now, I'm surprised that the United States is even doing this. But they've made the decision to tell the Big Red Sea, all your little satellite consulate offices across America that are in different cities, you need to shut them down. You can only have the embassy, that one building in the District of Columbia. All your little branch things like your little private police stations and your consulate offices, no more. You're going to have to go down and only be able to have that building in the District of Columbia. Now, I do know where the Big Red Sea's consulate is here in Chicago, so I may be running down there this week to go get some photos to see if anybody's moving out. Yeah. Now, other things that have hit the news is, yeah, Saudi Arabia and Iran are kind of having peace talks. They're kind of getting their stuff put together to hopefully end all the nonsense going on in Yemen. Well, Yemen is probably going to concede to what Saudi and Iran have to say, because Yemen is also a very extremely religious country, even more so than Iran. And they've always been a quirky country. I remember hearing the story, and this happened back in the 70s, that some people were on a big yacht, and somebody had a medical emergency, and the closest city with medical help was in the capital city of Yemen. Now, the yacht pulled in, and there were women on board the yacht, along with men. I guess it was a couple families. And the one gentleman was taken off because of a medical emergency. Well, because they went in there under an emergency, they didn't have the correct paperwork to enter the Yemenis' water or dock the boat and walk on into Yemen to get medical assistance. And so the Yemenite government was then going to take everybody into custody, have them arrested as illegal, for illegal entry. As soon as this person was able to get out of the hospital, if I remember correctly, it was a gentleman who had to have an emergency appendectomy. His appendix was about to burst. So as soon as he was sewn up and able to walk, literally the consul general, England's consul general, had to escort this man from the hospital back onto the yacht and stay on the yacht until it cleared the Yemenite waters, till the yacht was back into international water. So the people from Yemen, the government, it's always been a really, really scary, messed up place, and they're not trustworthy. I mean, they'll just they'll play lip service, but then still, if you're not playing life according to their rules, they'll take you down very quickly. They're not a very... The people there just follow the mandates of the government, and that's it. So you have to be careful with them. And I have a feeling a lot of those people crossing our American border, crossing the Rio Grande, wading through, I have a sick feeling in my stomach that those are guys coming out of Yemen who are trained, who, when given the directive, will start causing chaos here in America. So what they're doing in Yemen right now, it's basically training ground for the guys that they're sending over here. And we need to be really, really careful when we see men of that ilk entering the United States. Now, okay, another thing that's been hitting the fan big time, and the nonsense brought up by E. Jean Carroll. Yeah, this happened in the 90s. I'm still wondering what happened to all those store videotapes for security. And back then, at a high-end store, they always had security, especially around the fitting rooms, counting and taking notice of what garments were going in and coming out. So I'm surprised the woman who was assigned to the fitting rooms that day didn't notice somebody walking in after her. So this doesn't make sense. I mean, back in the 90s, in between stuff, I did a gig. I was at the AAA, a department store that was very, very, that was geared towards the affluent, extremely affluent people. And I worked in the women's petites department, and yeah, one of my shifts per week, I had to stand there and be the person who was manning the dressing rooms, the fitting rooms, where I would have to count how many garments a person was taking in to try on, what fitting room they were going into, and how many garments came out. So I'm really, she said this happened at a certain very high-end department store. So I think she's full of bunk, and it's going to come out that way. Okay? Now we've got the, something else that people griped about, ABC, not the one that's owned by the mouse here in the United States, but it's the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. I guess people are having their knickers in a twist because they're all complaining about the apathetic coverage of KC3's coronation. And then on Sky News, it's saying that the people at the Aussie Broadcast Corporation are nothing but a woke bin of self-loathing fools. So I'm just kind of laughing at that one. So I'm just like, okay, let's see what's next. And now we like I said before, Iran and Saudi are working together to straighten out the mess down in Yemen. Well, another thing that's happened is that Syria has now been brought back into the Arab League of Nations. So, yeah. And along with this, what a lot of people don't realize is that there's a lot of people from Pakistan and India and other Asian countries that work in the Arab countries, especially for the very wealthy families. So now they are now talking about building a railroad going from India all the way to Saudi Arabia, to Riyadh. And they also want to expand from India, go eastward all the way through China, like encompass Myanmar, Burma, Laos, Vietnam, China. So they want an interconnected rail line going all around. It sounds like a great thing, and it'll provide a lot of work for a lot of people, but I would not count on it to start construction immediately. The big thing that first has to change is the style of government in the Big Red Sea and in Vietnam before that can actually happen. So, yeah, that's... Now, everything also that's going on is that people in... Let me get my pen here. Okay, I got that covered. Now, people have to remember right now, I think as of this week, something that Donald put in, Title 42, it's now expired. So now our southern border is completely wide open. And of course, Texas and New Mexico, Arizona, and California are just overwhelmed with the number of people who are crossing the Rio Grande. Several cities in the north, like Chicago, New York, have declared themselves sanctuary cities. So, again, the mayor of New York is having fits. He's actually sending people to other counties in New York State because he claims that New York City can't handle all these refugees. And same thing here in Chicago. Beetlejuice is having a kitten fits, and now it's going to be, hey, Brandon, guess what? It's your problem now. So I'm going to be watching what the new mayor. He's going to be sworn in on the 15th, how he handles this situation. Something that has been going on this week, Japan and South Korea have been in really tight negotiations. Now, there is a lot of caution on the part of South Korea with Japan, and there's kind of like, they don't get along too well. I mean, Koreans and Japanese kind of like keep their distance because they're still... Koreans remember what Japan did to Korea from starting like the late 1920s through 1945. It wasn't so nice. Well, now Japan and South Korea are going to have to join forces because of stuff going on with the Big Red Sea and the northern section of Korea. Plus, right now, there's a big meeting in Indonesia of all these smaller island countries. They are meeting together, like Fiji and Malaysia, Sri Lanka and Philippines. They're meeting together, and they are going to be inviting Japan and South Korea to join them, because they have to get their ducks in a row, because they know the Big Red Sea is up to something, and they want to make sure that they have everything ready to go. So they are watching it, and at the same time, South Korea has been building up their factories to manufacture certain things that are needed by the national defense groups, especially the National Defense Group of Poland. So South Korea's been making a lot of stuff for Poland and sending it on over because Poland is getting ready, just in case something else happens. Especially with the Z guy. I mean, right now the Z guy is... Ukraine is actually the old Pale settlement. And anybody who knows their history knows that the Pale was primarily a Jewish enclave. Well, the Z guy is doing... He's causing so much nonsense, and I can't take the guy seriously. I'm like a guy who doesn't even want to put on a suit for formal meetings. I mean, he walks around with these pullovers. He's trying to make the blue and yellow country more westernized. He doesn't like it being affiliated with the country of the bear. Well, they're getting more and more woke. I mean, the Z guy, I mean, he's made the Orthodox Church illegal. Isn't that something that basically Adolf did, but with another religion? So we're going to have to really be careful of what's going on, because he wants to get in really tight with Germany and France and create his own little coalition. And all these people that are now like the woke ideology, they're agreeing with the Z guy. So while I was doing my research this morning, it like hit me over the head like a sledgehammer. It's like, woke is now the new term for NAZI. They're the ones, if we don't play by the woke's rules, we're the ones who are going to be penalized. So we need, really, they brainwash the college kids into thinking this is the right way to go, this woke and alphabet soup lifestyle. So those of us who are older, we really have to step up and start re-educating these college kids. Because this is what's happening. And it's like Poland, Georgia, Hungary, and Italy they're the first four to stand up against this woke alphabet soup ideology, to start quashing it. And so are a lot of the smaller countries, the ones that are smaller landmass, like Liechtenstein, Switzerland, Holland, Netherlands, Belgium, because they're having to go up against the other EU countries that are larger landmass countries, like Germany, which is really big, and France. I mean, so this woke nonsense has got to stop, because they are, like I said, the wokies and which are the alphabet soup people. They're the new NAZIs. That's the new party. But they're just calling it, instead of using those four letters, they're now using WOKE. So it's not good. The blue and yellow country is calling the bear country the N-word, when it's reality them. Now, as for the JoJo and his family, I guess Comer is going to be pulling out some massive evidence in the next day or so. So something really stupid that the Biden admin is doing, just to prove how they are super woke. Okay, across the United States, there's many hospital networks that are run by the Roman Catholic Church. Don't get me started on what I think they are, but according to the Roman Catholic Church, all of their hospitals have a chapel. And the chapel has the eternal flame that's supposed to burn forever when the communion wafer is in storage there. Well, the Bidens, and JoJo's supposed to be a really good Catholic, they're trying to force the Roman Catholic hospital chains to extinguish the eternal flame. Because as long as the eternal flame is burning, they won't get any other government money. So bye-bye to people who are on Medicare, Medicaid, and other government medical insurance programs. Well, somebody turned around and said, listen, that's violation of freedom of religion. So JoJo's admin kind of got caught with their pants down big time. I mean, that happened. But now it's like Comer is going to be pulling stuff out and announcing things about Hunter's little computer. Well, those of us who can remember, I mean, Watergate was a really big scandal, and it forced Nixon to resign. Well, Bidengate is going to make Watergate look like a small claims court issue. Bidengate is... JoJo's going to have to move out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And Cammy Poo is going to have to move out of where she's living. And both of them are going to have to go bye-bye. So we might end up with a guy by the name of McCarthy living in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm guessing that I keep getting a feeling about that. Now, as for the BRFs, we've all seen the photo of the pap shot. She was going to go take a hike or a walk. Why isn't she using one of those jogger strollers? Taking the kids out with her. Why aren't the kids out with her? Or was that just an organized photo shoot? I think it was an organized photo shoot, because she had to put something up for people to look at. She had to show her face because hubby was at the coronation. And at the coronation, Henry was seated between Jack Brooksbank and Princess Alexandra. Princess Alexandra is a lot like her cousin, QE2. She's a very petite woman. Be careful. Petite women wield immense power. So, you noticed Henry's demeanor change throughout the coronation? I have a feeling that Princess Alexandra gave Henry a severe talking to, brought him up to reality, and told him, hey, dude, grow up. This is what you've caused in the family. And she's far enough away from the intimate circle to relay the serious messages. So I think she was the one who was giving him a lot of food for thought. So, kind of scary for him. And I'm glad she did it. And now the other thing that we're all seeing, and it's really nice to see, is yesterday is what they was the bank holiday. And they called it a day of service for everybody. The big help. And the Wales family did, on the QT, go down to Slough. And there was a scout camp that needed some assistance refurbishment. So scouts, kind of like our American Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. So the Wales family went down, family of 5. And here we got pictures of George and his dad using power tools. Hey, what 9-year-old wouldn't want to use a drill? And, of course, Charlotte was there bossing Louis around. I mean, what big sister isn't going to boss her kid brother around? But Mom was there to run interference. And, yes, the entire family was dressed to get dirty. I mean, you could tell that what Catherine had on was something, she goes, I'm going to be kneeling in grass and mud. And she had on a pair of trousers. I'd say they were olive green khaki. Khaki material, olive green. Like, almost like basically a dark green blue jeans. All of the kids were in clothes that were suitable for getting dirty in. Which I thought that was a really great thing to see. So I am like, great to see the young family out there and doing stuff. And Charlotte and Louie interacting with other kids their own age and just being kids. So the only other thing I have to say today is I hate having to do this, but please remember, everything I'm saying is for entertainment purposes only. The other day during the big coronation concert, a few people were sending me messages. hey, go to so-and-so, they're doing a live stream, and check this out. Well, I did. Now, what people have to realize that I'm not the only psychic on YouTube. There are psychics on so many platforms. They're on Twitter, they're on YouTube, they're on the R1, they're on the BPOW one. There's local neighborhood, there's Discord. You can have an exclusive back one with YouTube called Patreon that's part of YouTube. I mean, Facebook. There's platforms, too many. I can't say them all. And there's psychics on all of these platforms. And a lot of people are saying the same time frame for Charles's reign. Nobody owns that information exclusively. So if somebody says, oh, she stole my information, they're full of bunk. Because there are paywalls that people are doing their predictions by. You can go on Twitch. You can go on, just type in psychics. And you're going to see so many. And many of us are all passing on the same information about stuff. So nobody has an exclusive right to anything. So I hate having to just say that in my own defense, but if somebody says, oh, I poached something, I'm like, no. No. I don't. If I'm going to use somebody's information, I give them credit. I mean, and the one that I really like is, is the Big Swede. I mean, he has a little cartoon that's primarily yellow as his avatar. And there's another lady, she goes by her initials, and she also does a lot of stuff on Twitch, so you have to get a subscription. She cross-broadcasts on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. She and I have talked about stuff, and hey, sometimes I will. Hey, yes, sometimes things that I've had come to me, she confirms. And I will mention that, hey, so-and-so and I both came to the same, so I do give credit where credit is due. So I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. It's sunny today, and have a good one. And no, I don't poach anything from anybody. I don't need to. Bye.